Good evening, children. This is my second video on the topic cell cycle and cell division. In my previous video, I discussed about definition of C value, cell cycle, different phases of cell cycle like I phase, under which we discussed G1, S and G2 phases, and the other is mitotic phase. We move further with our next topic, that was quiescent stage or G0 phase, the details of G1, S and G2, and a brief outline about meiosis, some names in the historical part like who discovered the process for the first time, who coined the term, etc., and a very simple outline about meiosis. Today we will discuss the meiotic division in detail. Meiosis is to be studied under two heads: meiosis 1 or first meiotic division and meiosis 2 or second meiotic division. This division is also called heterotypic and meiosis 2 also called homotypic. Under this we have prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. Similarly here we have prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. But here under prophase, which is the longest of all phases into meiosis 1, we have 5 substages: leptonema or leptotene, zygonema or zygotene, pachynemia or pachytene, diplonema or diplotene and dikinesis. Alright, so another term I had introduced, that is interkinesis, which is the interval between meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. So as we go into the details, it is important that we stick to the diagrams given in your textbook for discussion. This will be page number 10.15. This is meiosis 1. So children, this process of meiosis is simple to understand. All you have to understand is the diagram and the detailing which we can describe in our own words. Alright, so this is meiosis 1, and on the next page, that is after 2 pages, is meiosis 2. Today's discussion will be only on meiosis 1 here. So let us begin. The first is interphase, children, as we had discussed it previously. That is, this is the preparatory stage. There you can see the nucleolus is clearly seen, the nuclear membrane is clearly seen, the cell membrane is seen, right? And here the chromosome material is in diploid state. Alright, the chromatin network that you can see here, half of this is paternal and the corresponding equally half is maternal. Alright, so here as we begin, the first stage as it enters into prophase is leptotene, or what we call as leptonema. This phase is of shortest duration. You know, prophase, if you calculate from here, A, B, C, D, E, F, this all is falling under prophase. So this is the longest phase to study. This whole thing is the longest phase to study, right? And here, as the book says, the prophase is of longest duration and greatly modified. It is into 5 substages as we are going to begin. Number 1. So I am just concentrating on one diagram at a time so that you understand. We are discussing about leptotene stage. The leptotene is made up of 2 words: leptos, which means thread-like, or slender, and teen, or we can say it like this: leptos, which means slender, and nema, which means thread. So here, as the name tells, that the chromatin material, you can see in the stage, appears as long fine threads, right? And here, how have these threads formed? They have formed by the condensation of chromatin materials. These chromatin, they have condensed into long fine threads. Leptotene or leptonema is of short duration, and there is an increase in nuclear volume that is seen, right? Then each chromosome here is appearing as single, right? Longitudinally, if you see, it's appearing like single, but the DNA has already duplicated. During the interphase, the DNA has already duplicated and it is formed of two chromatids. You know what are chromatids, children? They are two arms of a single chromosome. The chromosomes, they have a beaded appearance. The chromosomes, they have a beaded appearance due to chromomeres. Here, there's a word coming as chromomere, right? I'll like to show you a diagram like this. What is a chromomere? Suppose this is a chromosome, right? Suppose this is a chromosome. Then throughout the length of the chromosome, we see coiled central filament of chromatid upon which the chromomeres lie. So this blue colored thread that is running throughout the length of chromatid is called as chromonema. And on the chromonema, there appear bead-like granules. These red structures are bead-like granules that constitute a chromosome during cell division. So once again, chromomere is a bead-like granule, whereas chromonema is a central filament of a chromatid. So here what you have to understand, coming back to this diagram, right? Chromomere, we are talking about the same bead-like structures that are present here. Now these are darkly stained regions and their number, size and position are constant. They represent highly coiled sections. Why are they appearing like beads? Because they are highly coiled regions of DNA and they correspond to a gene, right? Each bead represents a gene herein. So once again, children, the first stage is over. Once again, what major things have we discussed into leptotene? I told you leptos means slender and nema means thread. So we could see long thread-like structures, but here the DNA has already duplicated and it is formed of two chromatids, right? Here you can see there's a centromere. What you see as a new word is chromomere. So these are the same structures. Here I told you they are like bead-like appearance, right? Or granule-like structures of chromatin that constitute a chromosome, right? Their number, size and position are constant and identical and they represent highly coiled structures, right? Or regions of DNA and correspond to a gene. Coming to the second stage, zygotene or zygonema. Now zygosis means joining. There's a Greek word where we say zygosis here. It means joining. So what is joining here? See, what is going to join here? You can see there's a black color and there's a white color, right? So they are, we can say they are depicting the paternal chromosome and maternal chromosome. Suppose black is the father's chromosome, then white you can assume as mother's chromosomes and vice versa. So what has happened from leptotene to zygotene? The first thing is that chromosomes, they have coiled further and they are more clear, distinctly seen, right? You can see them more easily visible. Then there is a pairing that has taken place. Whatever was fallen apart here, they have paired up. You can see one black and white and the other black and white. And this pairing of homologous chromosomes, homologous means one half is father's and half is mother's, right? And then they are similar in size, shape and the nature of inherited characters. Once again, homologous chromosomes means they are same in size. You can see them. They are very much equal. They are same in shape and the characters that they are inheriting are exactly same. And that is why we call them homologous. They pair up and this pairing is called synapsis, right? This pairing is called as synapsis and that is why the stage is called as zygotene. That means joining, because homologous chromosomes, they have joined. Then the pairing may be in three parts. The pairing could begin from the terminal end, that is the ends here. It is called as proterminal. Or it can begin in the center, we call it procentric, or it could be random pairing. But yes, pairing has to occur. Alright, then each pair of synapse chromosome is called as a bivalent. Bivalent means there are two components. All right. So here the random structures were there, but they were clearly seen and visible. But here they are more visible, they are condensed or coiled further, and there are bivalents formed because of pairing, right? The pairing that is also known as synapses. So clearly bivalents could be easily seen. Then the synapses or the pairing is accompanied by a ladder-like structure. This you can assume as a ladder-like structure. Look at this. This can be seen as a fibrillar structure. This is paternal chromatid, the father's chromatid, and this is the mother's chromatid. What you can see in between is that there's at the centromeric region of homologous chromosome, right? There are paired chromosomes. It is formed at the centromeric region of homologous chromosomes to stabilize the paired chromosome till crossing over is completed. This is going to give away like a bridge-like structure, because in the next stages there is going to be crossing over. Some portion of father's genes will come here and some portion of mother's genes will go there, right? So this is all what is seen in zygotine. Then what next can be said is nucleolus increases in size. You can see this body, nucleolus, increases in size, and because this is an animal cell, you're studying this in an animal cell, so there's a body here near the nucleus what we call as chromosome, right? Here the chromosome, it has started dividing further into two centrioles. One is here and the other is here. All right. So this is the chromosome that has split apart into two centrioles. Then coming to the third is the Pachytene stage, right? This is the Pachytene stage, and what Pachys means is thick. There's another Greek word Pachys which means thick. So as the name tells children, what is becoming thicker here? The paired chromosomes of the bivalent, you can see they are becoming further shortened and thickened, and they're more clear. They are twining around each other, and sister chromatids in each chromosome, that is here one black and one white, the sister chromatids in each chromosome, they become distinct by appearing of a longitudinal furrow. That means each black divides by a longitudinal division and each white divides by a longitudinal division. In this case, that there are 4 chromatids that can be seen, and this is what is called as tetrad. Once again, longitudinal furrow in black and longitudinal furrow in white. Compare only one chromosome, right? One bivalent. In this case, the bivalent changes into a tetrad because 4 chromatids can be easily seen. All right. Moving further, here in the Pachytene stage is a very important process of crossing over. Crossing over you will understand by this. Look at this. Here there's an exchange of segments. Suppose this is the paternal or father's chromosome and this is the mother's chromosome. So during crossing over, what is happening is the tetrad, like 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? There are breaks that are caused at identical points, right? And this break is caused by an enzyme called as endonuclease, right? Now during crossing over, the non-sister chromatids, that means one white and one black, the non-sister chromatids of a tetrad break at identical points by an enzyme endonuclease, and the broken segments are exchanged. You can see here, the broken black comes into white and the broken white goes into black, right? So again, that means after the breaking that was caused by endonuclease, there is also a joining. This joining is called annealing, right? This joining is called as annealing, and it is caused by an enzyme called ligase. Ligase means to join. Ligation means to tie up or join. So here forms an X-shaped structure, right? There appears X-shaped structure and we call it as chiasma, right? CHIASMA. So the moment chiasma is formed, there could be one more or more than one, 2 or more than 2 chiasma, and depends on the chromosome, right? So here new combinations of hereditary material, now you can see they are possible. So all this happens during Pachytene. Once again children, we have come up till here. You can clearly see over here, right? We started from here and the crossing over has taken place, right? And the segments would be now exchanged. You can see after this, now they are exchanged. Alright, so moving to dikinesis, this is better explained here children, the crossing over. Moving to diplotene stage, the fourth stage is diplotene stage. Here diplos means double. So diplotene here, this stage is the double stage where you can see. And what has happened here, that the synaptic forces of attraction between chromosomes, they are now over and the synaptonemal complex dissolves. In such a way, the chromosomes uncoil and start separating, which is called as disjunction, right? See here. What they were joined now, see the termination, it's like something that the joining is now opening. And now see finally, the joint end is moving towards the terminal end. Alright, this is later what we call as terminalization. That means the portion of contact moves to the terminal end. Once again, the homologous chromosomes uncoil and start separating. This is called disjunction, but the non-sister chromatids remain in contact on chiasma. Simultaneously, the chromosomes become increasingly shorter and thicker, and as each bivalent becomes increasingly shorter, chiasma moves away from the center, and this is called terminalization. See, this X children, what was here, gradually see it is moving towards the terminal end. Now it is only at contact at the terminal tip. The crossing over has taken place. You can see the colored portion has exchanged, and finally they're moving, the chiasma moves to the terminal end, and we call this as terminalization. Alright, then finally dikinesis. During dikinesis, the chromosomes continue to contract so that the bivalents are thickest. Due to further terminalization, the bivalents appear as round, darkly stained bodies, and during this later part of phase, the centriole and centrosphere divide towards the opposite end and nuclear membrane disappears. See this. The nuclear membrane in dikinesis is disappearing, right? The centriole, which has started to divide here, you can see that, right? The centrosphere, that means the area around it, also divides. The centriole and the centrosphere divides and move to the opposite ends or the poles. So that's all up till dikinesis. But once let us see here once again. The stages to discuss, this all is under prophase children. The important events that are occurring here, the chromosomes, they are homologous chromosomes that can be seen in black and white color. They are pairing up here, right? In leptotene, what happened? Leptotene, they become short, they are becoming more distinct, right? They're clearly seen, and this is due to the beaded appearance I told you of chromomeres. The chromomeres are these beaded appearing bodies, right? Then zygos, I told you here, which meant pairing. So what has paired? The homologous chromosomes, one from father, one from mother, right? And synapsis has taken place, right? Now the pairing could be terminal or at the center. If it is terminal pairing, we call it proterminal. If it's beginning at the centromere, its center, we call it as procentric, or it could be random. So these are paired bivalents or through the synaptonemal complex that is formed, I had explained here, right? Then further in Pachytene, the longitudinal division or the furrow divides the bivalent and makes it appear like a tetrad, which consists of 4 chromatids. Then in Pachytene only, here what happens further is the crossing over and chiasma formation. Here I explained better, it was this, how it was crossing over and the chiasma formation. The breaking of chromosomes, right, that took place due to enzyme endonuclease, and the rejoining that was due to enzyme ligase. The joining is called as annealing, and the X-shaped structure that is formed here, it is called as chiasma. Right? During this only the exchange of genetic material has taken place, and that is why the meiosis division gives a possibility of variations. Then further you can see how in the next stage, that is diplotin, the disjunction is there. Here in diplotin, the disjunction or separation can be seen, right? The chromatids after crossing over are kind of moving apart, and in dikinesis towards here you can also see the terminalization. See, as the bivalents they are moving away, the terminalization takes place, because in this the chiasma moves away from the centromere to the ends. That is, the X-shaped structure which was earlier in the center has moved towards the tip, and this is what we call as terminalization. Right. So dikinesis we have understood up till here. Now let us see what happens after prophase. After prophase, the stages are simple: metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. So see, metaphase, there's an equatorial plate formation. This is different from mitosis, children, because here you can see there are paired chromosomes, right? Again here. And anaphase, you can see the spindles, how they are shrinking up, right? And they are now in groups dividing or moving to the poles. And in telophase, the nuclear membrane is already back along with the nucleolus. So let us see the further now. Metaphase 1. In metaphase 1, spindle is formed between the centrioles and the chromosomes. These are arranged on the equator of spindle, right? Their centromeres are attached to the chromosomal fibers of the spindle. So metaphase, children, the spindle fibers are seen and metaphoric plate can be clearly seen, right? Then coming to anaphase, the anaphase is seen when the centromeres of homologous chromosomes move towards opposite pole, due to which what happens is the homologous chromosomes which had come close together during zygotine have now separated and reached the opposite poles. By the end, the two groups of haploid chromosomes are formed at the end of each pole. You can see here, earlier which was diploid 2n has now become n, that is half of the previous, right? And that is why it is called as the heterotypic division or the first meiotic division, in which the reduction of chromosome number can be seen. Alright, coming to telophase, the chromosomes which have reached to the poles form the chromatin net. Once again, nucleolar membrane is formed around each group and two haploid daughter nuclei are formed. So you can see the nuclear membrane has come back, nucleolus has reappeared, right? And the two daughter cells with haploid number or half the chromosome number than the previous. See, here we started with 2n, but we are ending with two daughter chromosomes with n or the haploid chromosome number. So what is the importance or significance of meiosis 1? The first importance is the main one, that chromosome number has been reduced to half, 2n has become n. Then reduction in number of chromosomes is important for sexual reproduction, right? That is, half of the fathers and the half of the mothers, they have to be made into a definite number of diploid number. Results in exchange and recombination of segments between non-sister chromatids, and thus it introduces new combinations of paternal and maternal genes. Recombination leads to variations in offsprings or the children, and meiosis induces formation of haploid gametes or spores. So till here we have discussed, children, that is meiosis 1. I will request you, please read these 1.5 pages along with the diagram, that is starting from here, meiosis 1, this page number 1, and if you read through the diagram, definitely it will be more easy, and up till here. These 2 pages, if you read, you will be completing with the meiosis 1. Interkinesis, I have told you, is the time interval between first meiotic and second meiotic division, right? So in my next video, we'll start with meiosis 2. Please read it once, twice, and thrice. In the beginning, yes, children, you may just go invariably a little unclear with the topics. But if you study the same under these heads, I have noted it for you. There are 9 terms to understand. What is synapsis? That is pairing. What is a bivalent? What is synaptonemal complex? Tetrad, crossing over, chiasma, annealing, disjunction, and terminalization. All these 9 terms we have discussed today. If you have any queries, please drop in your doubts, children. What is totally new and it's not mentioned in your book, I have written it in the form of a diagram which I'll be sending. So today's writing work, it's nothing. Till here I had already given you, children, right? And what further I am going to give is only this page, children, which comprises of some 2 diagrams and terms that you need to understand. Alright, children, any doubts you can ask it or read the paragraphs clearly so that you do not have any doubts. Thank you.